1 million mastery points, roughly 2000 games and over 1000 hours of playtime just on one singular champion. A feat only the most dedicated players manage to achieve. When I logged in Caitlyn for the first time, I had no idea what an amazing journey awaited me. So without further ado, sit back and watch me, because this is how I reached the 1 million mastery points on Caitlyn. It all started in the beginning of the year 2023 when I first downloaded League. From what I found, I think it was January the 5th. And the first record I have of playing Caitlyn is from the March 31st. I really don't remember much from this time, but luckily I managed to find new information from looking into old patch notes and my old messages to friends, which helped me to put some things into context. One thing I remember quite clearly though is how I chose Caitlyn in the first place. After like a month of somewhat playing the game with very little knowledge and still figuring things out, I decided that I want to play ADC. The role just seemed so cool to me and I really liked that I get to play from range. The next thing I did was that I looked at every single ADC and decided which ones I want to learn. And I remember my standouts were Caitlyn, Twitch and Vayne. Then out of curiosity, I looked up which champ has the highest range in game. You probably know where I'm going with this, but let's just say my choice was clear from that point. Another thing I remember is that there were two options you could build on Caitlyn. It was either the Kraken Slayer or Gale Force. And I remember avoiding the Gale Force, which was apparently really broken back then, just because I found it annoying to use its ability, which I struggle a little bit with up until this day. I remember the build being Stormrazor Rush into Berserkers, into either Gale Force or Kraken. Remember, at this time I had no idea how different runes worked or the passive abilities of items. Every time I just looked at some site and copied everything. Then I remember that I quit the game at one point this early into League. This was on the 6th of May, roughly a month into maining Caitlyn. It was because I got fed up with the supports in my elo, especially that they couldn't land their stuns. I held myself from playing for almost a month, and after that I came back with a clear mind and fresh desire to play. And the last thing I remember from this time is Riot making Kraken a legendary item and replacing it with Infinity Edge. This was actually in the patch 13.10, which released on the May the 16th. Overall, looking back at these early moments of playing, I wasn't much different from any other player. Clueless, learning and figuring things out. Little did I know that my story will continue far past that. On the 12th of October, I uploaded my first League video on YouTube. It was a loot opening, a format which persisted for some time on my channel afterwards. The quality was quite poor and overall the video wasn't great. But then, on the 21st of January 2024, I uploaded my first Caitlyn video, which was my promo game from bronze to silver. Again, the video was quite boring, but it helped me on my way to figure out what kind of videos I want to make in the future. Few more videos followed after that, but the upload rate was really inconsistent. This went on for about a year and a half before I decided that I want to put more effort into content. And that is the chapter we found ourselves in currently, with my content revolving a lot around Caitlyn, though not only exclusive to her. I also started to make short form content around this time, which took off pretty nicely even on TikTok and Instagram. You sure may ask now, was it even worth it? Was dedicating so much time into only one champ the right thing to do? I will try to answer most of these questions now. But before we get into that, let's visualize how much 1 million mastery points actually is. When we go to the mastery chart website, we can see our mastery in these balls. Obviously, Caitlyn is the biggest here, with Twitch on the second place. You can see that I play other champs as well, thus not being a complete one-trick. There's one more interesting statistic here, which ranks my Caitlyn mastery in the world and on my server. We can see that I am rank 5535 in the world and number 510 on the server I play on, which is EU Northeast. It's pretty crazy looking at it like this. Now let's move on to what had this all actually gave me. First, I have to say that being an OTP from early on will teach you so much about the game. You will learn that your champion has strengths and weaknesses, you will learn how to itemize your champ, and you will learn all the different interactions and matchups of your champ. The best thing about this is that this will help you understand the game better as a whole. Picking up new champions will become easier since you will know how to test its limits and optimize your gameplay. Another great thing about being an OTP is, well, obviously, being good at one champ. This will make your early climbing easier and give you an edge over everyone else. I actually made a video covering the best beginner ADC champs, so you can go and check it out here. And being good at one type of ADC will make you learn similar ADCs far easier. For example, when I played Caitlyn for some amount of time, it was quite easy for me to pick up Ashe because I already knew how to work with range. But of course, there are a couple of downsides to being an one trick. First is the obvious one. You are not good on any other champs. I remember my friends used to laugh at me for being useless on anything other than Caitlyn when I was starting. This clip sums up my feelings in those moments.
Whitney, at best, you're a one trick. You can't play anything else. Leave me alone. You're not good enough. You'll never get challenger. You'll never get rank 1. Stop. Stop.
Anyway, the main point is that if your champ gets banned or your enemy picks it, suddenly you are the weak one now. That's why it is recommended to pick up some champs for these cases when you can't play your main. For me, for example, this champ was Twitch. You can maybe practice this champ in normal mode or in other low pressure ways, such as when you play for fun with friends or playing ARAM. Then when your main gets banned in ranked, you will have a backup plan. And the second thing is that it gives you a huge drafting disadvantage. Drafting is a part of League for a reason, so when you play one champ exclusively, you are not able to counterpick or play strong meta champs. Luckily for me, Caitlyn is a great blind pick, so I never had to worry much about getting counterpicked. But when playing Clash, for example, when they see a person with 1 million Caitlyn mastery, obviously they will ban it. I even struggle with this a little up until this day, even when I have broader champ pool. Sometimes it just so happens that you will be forced to play something you are not so familiar with. Now, would I recommend you being an one trick? It depends. You have to take into consideration everything I said and think about if it's really worth it for you. Also note that being an OTP is not the optimal way to start and learn League. Let me know in the comments if you would want me to make a video about this. But becoming a OTP isn't always a bad thing. If you are certain that you like one champ so much you want to play it exclusively, feel free to do so. And the last thing I want to mention is that being an OTP isn't permanent. You can choose to step down from your champ at any time you wish. All in all, I have to say that being an OTP has brought me only the best. I had so much great time, learned how to overcome the hardships and how to stay dedicated. It is important that if you really enjoy your champ, not to get discouraged. Even when others laugh, even when your champ is bad in the meta, even when you doubt if sticking to your champion was really a good idea. These are the moments that make you stronger. These are the moments that test you, but if you persist, they will give you so much into the future. Speaking about future, I also want to talk a little about my plans for 2026. First of all, I'm not stepping down from Caitlyn. I still in fact really enjoy playing her, and I think that it will stay like that forever. I would also like to experiment a little with other champs this year. You surely noticed that I also enjoy other champs, such as Twitch or Swain lately. I will try to play more on my EU West account and try even more different champs. And maybe, who knows, you will get to witness some of my his red gameplay, but we will see about that, so stay tuned. So that was it, my story about how I reached 1 million mastery on Caitlyn. Thanks everyone for watching, especially you absolute legends who watched this video till the end. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments what would you want to see next. Also don't forget to like and subscribe. I wish you all Merry Christmas, take care, and I'll see you in another one. Bye!